If you're a tech-enabled startup, if you're a business that has software plus a meaningful physical world component, I recommend a few things. Number one, you're going to need to develop a proficiency in cost attribution from a much earlier stage than a pure software business would. You're going to need to know your unit costs at a much more detailed level than a typical SaaS startup. The attribution can be harder than it sounds in the early days of a startup because your finance function is immature, because COGS are not typically purchased in units. They're typically purchased in larger chunks and then unitized based on assumptions. And those assumptions must constantly be checked, figuring out which costs are one time, which are ongoing, which are temporarily inflated, which ones can be brought down with scale. These are all important factors to understand for the tech-enabled startup. Second, you're going to have to pay a lot more attention to pricing. In a typical SaaS startup, the goal is to get over the penny gap to prove that a customer will pay anything for the product because they have perfect gross margins. But in the tech-enabled startup, you've got to make sure that you're pricing the product so that you're not selling dollar bills for 90 cents. It's easy to create the illusion of product market fit by giving away a physical world product or service for less than it costs, because the legacy competitors can't compete with negative unit economics, but you will not create a viable long-term business. The third thing I recommend that you prioritize 0 to 1 problems like establishing positive unit economics and a culture valuing operational excellence before going from 1 to N. So you've really got to think, what are my 0 to 1 problems? What are my 1 to N problems? For tech-enabled startups, you're much better off getting the operation to work at small scale in one geography, in one location, in one market, with the right teamwork, with the right culture before you expand to a lot of markets. Now, in a lot of cases, the competitive pressure of needing to go wide to beat competitors forces companies into prematurely scaling into multiple markets before they're ready. But to the extent you can hold back from doing that, I recommend that you try to get your model working in one market before expanding to a whole bunch of them.